Hello and welcome to Primo Trades. My name is Stephen Primo. I'm the president and founder of Specialist Trading. And in these brief educational presentations that I send you each and every week, I share with you different techniques, tips, and strategies that I've accumulated in my 45 years of trading, and then show you how simple it is to become a consistent trader by just applying them on our PTS Primo charting platform. Now, in today's educational video, I'm going to reveal a simple but powerful trading technique that could have helped you successfully trade stocks like Etsy and Tesla this past week. But before we start, let's look at today's theme. And that's this, something that I was taught some 45 years ago on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. My mentor said that, Steve, trading is simple. It's the trader who makes it more difficult than it has to be. Now, if you don't believe this, ask yourself how many charts you have in front of you. How many charts are you looking at? How many indicators do you have plotted on that chart? Okay. How many time frames are you looking at? How many blogs or websites do you visit a day trying to find out what to buy or what to sell? How many chat rooms are you associated with? This is one of the main reasons why most traders fail, is because they overcomplicate their trading. Well, in today's educational video, I'm going to share with you a simple process that will allow you to trade with simplicity and to become consistent. But first, we have to apply something that I first learned some 45 years ago on the floor of the exchange, and that's the PET-D. This is a short-term trend identifying tool. Now, in the old days, we had to calculate it by hand calculator, but we've taken all the hard work out of it for you. And on our platform, all you have to do is simply click on the PET-D, and it changes the colors of the bars because it's a color bar tool. For example, let's look at this older chart in ATER. Obviously, it was going straight down, and then all of a sudden it stopped and went straight up. But how could we have known in advance? Well, once we apply the PET-D, we see that the bars were colored red well in advance before the market fell out of bed, and they changed to green well in advance before they went straight up. So this is a very powerful tool to have in your trading arsenal, but we can apply it many different ways. In fact, I'm going to show you one of those ways in today's technique. This is a great tool for trading with simplicity, and you can only get the PET-D on our platform, the PTS Primo charting platform. This is the platform I developed with Pro Trader Strategies that actually teaches you how to trade. So let's look at our platform right now. And here's the process you want to go through. As we look at this chart of GSPC, this is the S&P 500 index coming into this past week. Okay. How could we have traded this with simplicity, but also having a very powerful tool on our edge, on our side? Okay. First thing you want to do is add a 5-period simple moving average. So we come on the platform, click on simple moving average, and apply a 5-period moving average. Okay. Next, we want to apply the PET-D. Now, there are two different settings for the PET-D. There's the PET-D fast, which is a more sensitive, more tuned, finely tuned way of seeing the short-term trend. And then there's the PET-D slow, which is a little bit slower and gives you a little bit more room to work with. We're going to use the PET-D slow in this particular technique. So we come up to our platform here, click on PET-D slow, click and fill the candles, and we see the colors change with the bars, okay? Some red, some green. So how are we going to use this? When we find a bar that is completely below and not touching the 5-period simple moving average, and on top of that, it's colored green by the PET-D, that's our entry bar. And as you can see, on the 17th of November, right here, we have a bar completely below, not touching. That's the bar to enter. So had we entered right here, just gone long, or said, well, this is a short-term trend for the S&P 500, what we want to do is see it come up to the level of the most recent high, which was right here. So as you can see, we got right up to that level once again, and that would be your exiting point, okay? Not a bad little swing trade for 3 or 4 days, okay? Finding out what the market wanted to do. Now, as we went further even more, we see that we dropped again and started to come lower. And what do we have? We have a bar that is completely below and not touching the 5-period simple moving average, and it's colored green. Even though it was a down day, the PET-D colored it green. So this is our entry bar. Once again, time to get back in, and we will also exit once we reach the old highs. So let's fast forward and see what happened. Well, we all know what happened a day later, right? The market went straight up to the upside. Very simple, right? Now, didn't make any mention of news on this. I know this went up based on some fundamental or economic news. Who cares? We knew one day in advance that we should be going long. Let's look at Etsy, okay, ETSY. Same process. We're going to apply a 5-period moving average. And then once we have that, we're going to look for bars that are completely below the 5-period moving average, that aren't touching it at all. And here we have two. So let's apply the PET-D slow. And we see that both of these were colored green. So these are both valid entry bars. And we want to exit once we get back to the old high, okay? Roughly about 127 and a quarter. We could have entered roughly about 114, 114 and a quarter, okay? So let's see what happened. If we go forward, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days, as we rescale here, we see that in 6 days, we got up back to the old highs, okay? And would have made a nice little profit there. See how simple that is? And you can apply it to any market. Here's Tesla, any time frame, any direction. Now, obviously, Tesla's been going much lower, right? How could this have helped us? Well, all we have to do is apply the PET-D slow. And now we do the opposite. We look for a bar that is completely above and not touching the 5-period, as we have right here. This time it's colored red. And you can see in 2 days, it went to the old low, and that's where you would exit. Here's another one. As it bounced up again, a bar completely above the 5-period moving average, not touching, colored red. And in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, went back to the old low. And then lastly, we have this bar right here on the 15th of November, completely red, completely above the 5-period moving average, you'd sell, and in about 3 days, right back to the old lows. We can apply this to an entirely different market, different time frame. Here's a 4-hour period of the British pound. We had the PET-D slow, and we see that even though this one looks below, it was actually touching, but this bar was all the way below the 5-period moving average. You could have entered right here and exited about a day later with a nice profit. Here's a weekly chart of Bitcoin, okay? We all know that Bitcoin's been going lower, but we look for that red bar that is completely above the 5-period moving average and not touching. You would have had a sell here. Now, this is a weekly chart of Bitcoin. You would have had a sell here at the end of July, and you could have taken advantage of this nice sell-off. And then guess what? The last week of October, another sell signal right here, completely above the 5-period moving average, and look how it fell out of bed. Lastly, we can look at gold here. Here's a daily chart of gold. We have a bar right here and a bar right next to it, completely below, colored green, and you could have made money on gold. Once again, we did not overcomplicate anything by looking at news. We did not overcomplicate anything by looking at different time frames to determine what the trend was. In other words, a higher time frame and a lower time frame. We did not have access to 20 or 30 different charts on our screen. Everything is simple and easy when you're in sync with the trend and you just have some very valid but basic structure applied. This is how simple trading can be when you're in sync with the market, and also when you're using our platform, the PTS Primo Charting platform. Now, for more information on the PET-D or the PTS Primo Charting platform or any of the other strategies we've talked about in the past or you may have heard about, please do not hesitate to contact Pro Trader Strategies. They're in charge of all the pricing and discounts. They have trading consultants manning the phones. They'd be happy to take your order or answer any question that you may have. Now, there's their email address, but I would suggest giving them a call at area code 310-598-6677. There's no obligation to ask them questions, and they can give you a quote right over the phone or sign you up right over the phone, and you can be up and running with the platform and the PET-D as early as today. As we close and take a look at our disclaimer, I just want to thank you for watching this short educational video. I hope you learned something, and most especially, I really look forward to all of you becoming students of mine at Specialist Trading. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time in the next Primo Trades video.